Alright guys, now we're going to go over lists in Python. A list is a way to store multiple things together. So more specifically, we can have a list of strings, we can have a list of integers, a list of floats, a list of a mix of those different data types as well. That's supported by Python specifically. We can add to the list, we can remove from the list, we can replace the list with a new list. It's an entirely new data type that we can store our variables with using the data types that we already learned about so far. So example number one, we can have fruits. And to make a list, all you gotta do is do a opening bracket, and this will automatically put a closing bracket. And now if we want a list of strings, we can do a string like apple. That's one element. And then every other element after that is gonna be separated by a comma. So apple, banana, orange. So now we have a list here of fruits, and there's 3 strings within the list. These are the 3 elements of the list. That's what they're called, elements. So previously we only knew how to store individual strings into variables. Now we're storing 3 at once. So we can go and print out our list, and let's take a look at what it looks like. So print fruits, run it. There we go. There's the output: apple, banana, orange. We can store numbers, like I said. So test scores. We could do 12. We could do 97, 34, 54, 90, 69, so on. So here's a bunch of test scores. These are ints, so it's a list of ints. If you hover over the variable, it tells you the data type. So list of ints. For fruits, it's a list of strings. You can also do floating point numbers if you want to, but you can also mix up, like I said, the data types of the elements in the list. So we could do mixed list is equal to, and let's just say 1, hello, 3.14, true, even a Boolean type as well. Forgot about that. And so now if we hover over it, it's a list of unknown just because it's supporting multiple types at once. Usually in other programming languages, the type of the list has to be the same. And usually when you do see a list in the wild in Python, it's going to be of the same type. But just knowing that it is possible, of course, is important as well. You can also do an empty list. So just a list of nothing, which is just a empty opening and closing brackets. Now let's go ahead and print all these out. Forgot about that. So print mixed list, and then we'll print our empty list. I think it's just important to visualize what we're working with here. There we go. Here's our mixed list, and then here's our empty list. A list can also have duplicate elements. So if we have a list of ints, for example, we could have the same number multiple times. That's no problem. You don't have to worry about that. So that's what a list is in Python. It's a way to store multiple things together into one unit, one variable, and those are the different ways that you can create them. Now we're going to focus on more ways of actually working with them once you have a list. So the first thing is accessing list elements. What I mean by that is if you have a list of fruits, how can you access specific elements from the list, such as the apple, the banana, anything inside the list? How can you get the data out of the list? So the way it works is every element in a list has an index, which corresponds to its position in the list. Furthermore, indexes are 0-based, meaning it starts at 0, not 1. So it's instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 0, 1, 2, 3. You just have to remember that. So for example, if we want to print out the first fruit from our list, only the first one, nothing else, we can do fruits, and then we could use this bracket notation here and put 0. So what this is doing is saying that I want to access the fruits list and grab the first element, or 0, because it's 0-based, and print it out. So let's run it. There we go. We get first fruit, apple. So if I change it to 1, I should get banana. There we go. I get banana. If I change it to 2, I get orange. If I change it to 3, I get grape. Nice. A cool trick that you can do actually with Python, which is really cool, is you can get the last element automatically in a shorter way. So if I say last element, usually you would have to just count the indexes, 0, 1, 2, 3, or you can get the size of it and minus it by 1. That's one way you could do it, but an easy way to do it within Python is just fruits, -1. So this will grab you the last element and print it out. So let's run it. There we go. Last element is grape. And you can go backwards from there. So before it's 0, 1, 2, you can actually go backwards. So -1, -2, -3, and so on. So we could do -2, and we get orange. Nice. This is actually super helpful that you can do that within Python. So just like with strings, you can get the length of a string within Python. You can also get the length of a fruit, or not fruit, of a list. So if I do print number of fruits, I can actually do the same exact function that we used for strings. It just knows based on what you passed in how to do it. So we can do length, or len, and then pass in our fruits list, and then it returns the size of the list. So 4. All right, now that we know how to create lists, we know how to access the elements within the list, the data within the list. Now we're going to focus on how to modify lists, or changing the elements in the list. So the first way that we can modify our list is actually just changing the value of an individual element. So let's just say, for example, in our kitchen, we have these different fruits, but I go ahead and eat the banana in the morning and I replace it with a mango. So let's just say we want to replace banana with mango. To do that, we can do fruits. And remember, how do we access a specific element in a list? We can use the bracket notation here. And we want to target banana. So that's the second one. So 0, 1. So 1 because it's 0 base. So 1. And then we can reassign it just like we would with any variable. This is kind of the same thing as saying giving me the variable at this point. We are reassigning it to this string here. We're going to say mango. So now if we were to print out the lists before and after, so we can see the difference, let's see if it worked. There we go. Get apple, banana, orange, grape, apple, mango, orange, grape. So we were successfully able to rename or replace the value within the second element in the list. So that was changing an element's value. You can also add elements to a list. So let's just say maybe we want to add banana back, right? Because now we have apple, mango, orange, grape. We want to add banana back to our list. So let's just add it to the end of the list. So to do that within Python, it's fruits, dot, and then you have these methods here that you can call upon a list. So remember, back before when we learned about strings, we learned that there's string methods, so specific methods or functions that we can call on a string, only strings. And we also have the same thing for lists. If it's a list, there's specific methods only for lists that we can call on them to do stuff. So one of them is append, and with append, we can pass in a new value that will be added onto the end of the list. So we can say banana. So now if we go ahead and print out fruits, we should see banana re-added. There we go, apple, mango, orange, grape, banana. Great. So that is how you can add elements, but you can also add to a specific position. So you can insert an element to a specific position, because sometimes you'd want to do that, obviously, instead of just adding it blindly to the end of the list. So let's just say that instead of adding it to the end, like this piece of code here, let's comment it out. So let's just say for some reason we want to add another fruit like strawberry to the second position. How can we do that? To do that, we can do fruits.insert. And the way it works is it actually tells you in the documentation, insert object before index. So whatever index you specify in this function here, it'll put it right before that position. So let's complete it, insert. And so we want it to be in the second position, right? So 0, 1. So we're going to say 1. And then do comma, and then now you want to specify the value that you want to put in that position. So we're going to say strawberry. Okay, let's run it. Print out the new value of the list, and let's see what we get. There we go, get apple, mango, orange, grape, banana, and then apple, strawberry, mango, because we inserted it right before the 1 index. So mango was the current value at 1, and it puts it right before that. So now apple is the new value at the 1 index. And then everything else was shifted upwards. So if I was to make it 0, where would it be put? It would be put before 0, which would just be 0. So it would be the first element. Let's run it. There we go. We get strawberry, apple, mango. We can also do -1. So -1 is the last position. So it actually should be placed right before banana. Let's run it. There we go. Strawberry, banana. So that is how you can add elements to a list, but you can also remove elements. There's 2 different ways that I'm going to teach you how to do it. The first way is just to remove it by its value. So let's just say that we know specifically that we want to remove grape from our list. So to do that, we can do fruits.remove, and it tells you in the documentation, removes the first occurrence of value. So you're going to pass in grape, and what it's going to do is go through the list and just look for grape. If it can find it, it's going to remove it. If it does not find it, it will throw an exception. It says raises value error if the value is not present. So usually you want to make sure the value actually exists in the list before you remove it. So let's call that and see what we get afterwards. There we go, removed grape. Perfect. I'm going to comment this out. And now the second way to remove at a position, just like we can insert an element to a specific position or index, we can also remove from a specific index by using the pop method. So we can do fruits.pop. And this one tells you, it says remove and return item at index. So it's going to remove the item at the index that you specify and return its value just to confirm, basically. So I commented out this previous code, and if I still want to remove grape, I just need to find the index of what that is. So looking at the output, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to remove the element at index 4, and then we'll print out the new version of fruits. Let's take a look. There we go. So same result, nothing changed because we were still able to remove grapes successfully. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys another way to access values from a list. It's just a little bit more advanced. The syntax is a little weird. So let's just say we have a list like this, a list of numbers. Doesn't matter what the numbers are, but we want to access the elements within them, right? So let's run this real quick, just see what it looks like. There we go, 0 through 9. So slicing works like this. We're using the bracket notation, and then we need to provide a start index and then an end index, okay? What this will do is give you the elements starting at the start index and then up until the end index, but not including the end index, okay? So let me give you an example. So let's just say printing the first three numbers. So to print the first three numbers, you can print out each individual one by its index, of course, but that's very inefficient. So this is where slicing comes in. It's an efficient way to get multiple elements that are contiguous or together. So we could do numbers, which are lists, and then we could start at 0. We want to start at the first element, and we want the first three. So we want to figure out where we want to stop. So it's 0, 1, 2. So we don't want to stop here though. We want to stop here. So stop at 3 because it's up until the end index, not including the end index. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2. It's going to provide those. So that's why I'm going to go here and provide 3 instead of 2 because it's going to be up until the third index. So let's run it. There we go. We get 0, 1, 2. I really hope that wasn't confusing. To do numbers 2 to 5, I want to do numbers, and then we're going to slice it. We're going to do 2 to start at 2. And then since we want 5, we want to include 5, we're going to do 6 because it's up until 6. So that will give us 2 to 5. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's say we want to get only the last 3 numbers instead of the first 3. I could do numbers, and then I want to specify the start index. So let's figure it out. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the start is 7. And since we want to include 9, what index do we specify for the last one, right? That's a little confusing because it's going to be up until that index. So we don't do 9, we do 10, but there is no 10 element. If we did 10, there would be an exception because that doesn't exist. So the answer is all you got to do is leave it blank. If you do 7 and then colon and then nothing, it's just going to go from 7 until the end, until it runs out. So if we run this, boom, we get 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Or you can go from backwards. So you can do -1, -2, -3. So you could start at -3 and then go to the end. That's another way to do it. It's really up to you how you want to do it. Likewise, for printing the first 3 numbers, you could also just leave out the first index and it will work the same way. So you're starting at the beginning and then going up until 3. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys slicing with step. It's a slightly more advanced version of the slice that we just learned about. So this allows you to do stuff like every second number, every third number, stuff like that. The way that this one works is you start at the start index, same as before, and then you end right before the end index, same as before. And then the step corresponds to the interval between each element. So as an example, we have our list again. And let's just say that we want to do every second element. We can actually do that really easily using this format. So every second element. So we're going to do numbers, opening, closing bracket, and then we're just going to do colon, colon, 2. So it's really weird to look at, but that's how you specify that. So we didn't put a start, so it means that we're starting at 0, it's implicit. And then we didn't put an end, which means that we're going all the way until the end. And the 2 means that we're going to step every 2 elements. So we're going to start here, print it, 1, 2, print it, 3, 4, print it, 5, 6, and so on. So let's run it and see what we get. There we go, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. If we want to do by 3s, we could do 3. So now we get 0, 3, 6, 9. So if we wanted to change this a little bit, if we still want to start at 0, we could specify 0 if we want to, or you could leave it blank. And then let's just say that we only want to go up until 6. So this is where you specify 7, right? Because it goes all the way up until the end index. So 0, colon, 7, colon, 2 means start at 0, and then go every 2 steps until you reach 7, but don't include 7. Let's run it. There we go. We get 0, 2, 4, 6. It's a little confusing, not gonna lie. For your first time learning it, I would imagine it's a little confusing and overwhelming, but just pause the video, play with it, make a list for yourself, and practice using the slice notation, and it will make a lot more sense, I promise, the more you play with it and get some practice with it. Something else that's really cool about lists is that there's a built-in way to sort them really easily within Python. So if you just have a list of numbers like this, they're out of order as you can see, but let's just say that we want to order them so they're ascending in terms of their numerical order. All we gotta do is really easily do numbers.sort, and it automatically sorts the list for you. So we could print after sorting numbers. And it should be ordered now. There we go, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So if we comment this out, of course, it's not ordered. Nice. If you want it to be descending, meaning it starts from the highest number and goes down to the lowest number, all you gotta do is do reverse is equal to true, and now it's reversed. Boom, nice. Okay, that's it for this part. That's all I want to show you for creating lists and using lists within Python. Now you guys know how to create lists, what they are, how to work with them, accessing elements within them, removing elements, adding elements, slicing, sorting, all kinds of good stuff like that. So hopefully this video was informative, and I'll see you guys next time.